Yeah. Now, to all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me. The back of the club, macking holes, my crew's behind me. Mad question asking.
And we are live.
We are live.
And we are here, Rye Guy.
Daniel.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Manishma, what is up?
You know, not a lot. It feels good to be back.
Feels fabulous to see you, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. It's been 2 weeks since we've been on Two Dads podcast hiatus, but we are back, people.
Let's just say we did this by design because we wanted you guys to miss us a little bit and just yearn for more. So
yeah, to your point, Ryan, we're like eczema. You know, we're like a flare-up. You know, you think we're gone, but then boom, we are back, baby. We're kind of like an upset stomach.
Or
You're at a
herpes.
restaurant, yeah, or herpes too. But but I always like to say you're at a restaurant, you're eating with your significant other, things are going great. Then here come the bubbles, and we are live. So Ryan, what is up, guys? How are you? It's great to see you.
You too, buddy. Oh, it's been too long. It's good to be back in the saddle, as they say.
It's good to be back on the saddle, and it feels like we never left, buddy.
Absolutely. So, welcome back to everybody. We're definitely excited to delve into a couple of beauties here today. I know Dan's very excited. I know our listeners are very, very anxiously excited to hear about the progress on the lifestyle.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna get a little update on that. We're gonna talk about Lili. We're gonna talk about Toby. We're gonna talk about our kids. We're gonna talk about Bonita Springs. We're gonna talk about a lot. So why don't you Bonita Springs?
We're also going to talk about COVID-19 and the vaccine. And the vaccine is something that I want to talk about with everyone in regards to, there's some closet vacciners out there. And I happen to think it's hilarious. And I can't wait to tell people a few stories. And Ryan's going to share a few stories as well. But we are back. It's great to see you, Ryan. You haven't aged a bit, Daddy.
Thank you so much. I feel like every time I look at myself, the old chin's getting a little frostier, if you will.
Nah, man, it looks great. It looks great, brother. Where should we kick off? Oh, you know what, Ryan? I wanted to share with you a story really quick. And this is going to lead up to Bonita. So Lindsay and I, right? We haven't had a mommy and daddy, like just Lindsay and I, a trip, just her and I, without the kids, for well over 2 years. So I decided, you know what? We wanted to make a day trip. We wanted to do, let's go away for the day and we'll come back the same day. So we did a day trip. But leading to that, I think the breaking point was before we decided to take a day trip, we decided to take Reagan and Cameron out to dinner. Cameron got his shots, his vaccine, so he's good. His 2 month shot or 3 month shots, I should say, or 2 month shots, whatever it may be. He got his first shots. And we went out to dinner bright and early at 5:00. And let's just say it was a disaster with 2 kids, one that's 4 and one that's that was 8 weeks at the time. And let's just say never doing that again. Back to you.
Yeah. So, I think you could look at it 2 different ways. I had the experience of unfortunately taking the girls out when they were young, and it sucks. There's no enjoyment in it. You're eating in shifts. One stands while the other's bouncing a baby.
Yep.
And the baby starts crying, and then the older one starts getting frustrated, and then they start crying. But being that we're in South Florida, 5:00 is a hot hour in South Florida. So
Alta cacas.
Exactly. The alta cacas are out at the deli.
They're all over they're all on the loose. Watch out.
So it's not fun.
It was awful.
Yeah,
it was terrible. I'm not gonna lie. There's no sugarcoating it. Ryan, we were so excited. We were like, this is our first venture, Sharf party of 4, and we were so excited for it. And I got to tell you, bro, as soon as we sat down, it's like the Titanic was sinking. It was disastrous between my daughter going ape shit and just not being able to sit still. And then as soon as she started to calm down, then Reagan decided to, be an a-hole. I'm just joking. He's not an a-hole. He's adorable. But he decided to be an angry little fella. And it was just miserable. And Lindsay and I just looked at each other and we're like, we're never doing this again. We need to get away. Even if it's for 12 hours, we just need to do something. So I had to. What about you, Ryan? So you said this happened to you?
Oh
quite
yeah,
often.
it was terrible. So I mean, Katie, when she was, she was just walking, and we would go out and have dinner. We'd have to bring an iPad.
Yep, the
She would
babysitter.
she would sit in the high chair for maybe 10 minutes,
Yep.
and then she was up. So we took turns chasing her around the restaurant at the time. And so like, one of us never ate. She wanted to go touch everything in sight because that's what kids do. Alexa was always good, but Katie was like a disaster zone in restaurants.
Oh man.
She'd go up to other people's tables and like grab their food. She was a lunatic.
And I like it. We can't be the only ones. I'm dying to hear from the listeners in regards to, hey, maybe we should do a new poll in regards to, tell us, some stories. Tell us what have you seen? What have you experienced with your kids out to dinner? I know, did it go well? And if so, tell me the secrets because we hate you. And if it didn't go well, then join the club.
Let me ask you, did you have to change Cameron's diaper while you were at the restaurant?
No. Luckily, we got very lucky because we did it right. We gave him a bottle and I burped him right before we got in the car. And then as soon as we got out of the car, I'm like, you know what? Let's just take a look. So we put him in the trunk, put down the pad. And then, you know what? Sure enough, okay, the rivers are flowing like ancient rivers of Babylonia. And we definitely cleaned his diaper before we headed into the restaurant. So I think that's the key. I think it's a must that you need to change the diaper before you go into a public facility because you just don't know what the hell is going to happen. So
totally agree. I used to love the trunk change. That was a great.
Got to do the trunk change. That is #trunk change.
That could be a new hashtag. I like it.
You know what? Maybe we'll design a T-shirt on our website. Make sure you guys check out the fresh merch, by the way, at www.twodadspodcast.com. Standby orders are happening. They are flying off the shelves, and please make sure check out the stuff. Ryan, back to you, fella.
Oh my God, you make me giggle like silly Sally Gigglefucks.
Silly Sally Gigglefucks, buddy.
So yeah, so I mean, you're not alone, and I'm sure we're going to hear from some of our listeners that you're not alone. So we're definitely excited to hear that. But why don't you delve into a little bit about the closet COVID vacciners?
Well, I will, but I want to also hear before we go in the closet vaccinators or the vacciners or whatever we want to call them. I want to hear some crazy stories from our listeners. So if you have any crazy stories with your kids at restaurants, them acting a fool, or just, got to the point where you just had to get the check and get the hell out, we want to hear about it. This is more of a support therapy session right now. So we are here for you and we are live.
I used to actually avoid eating or ordering dinner because I knew
there's no
one
point.
of us wasn't going to eat. So I would just eat like when I got home.
Or order it to go.
Good point.
Oh, you're a blessing from Alibaba.
Alibaba.
So to your question, to your point. So yeah, so as you guys know, Grandpa Joe is rolling out the vaccines. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. We're just excited that the vaccines are coming out right now all over the world, and they're starting to become more available, which is
Except for in Canada. Anyways.
Oh, Canada. And so are we out of this? Absolutely not. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? I'm happy to say I hope so. We're not there yet. I think everyone obviously has to do their part. But yeah, no, Ryan, it's crazy. So we've been trying forever to get the vaccines, and obviously, you have to, for those that are, medically, that have medical conditions or high risk, obviously, and then teachers, 100% teachers should be first in line. So luckily enough, my older sister, Bibi, she works for a hospital, and she spoke to Lindsay and I. And Lindsay, I think you knew this, right? But she was a pre-diabetic, with pregnancy, so she was considered high risk. And for the first time ever, my BMI was over 25, and I was, for the first time in my life, it's great to have a BMI of over 25 because that was my lucky cure, being over. And by the way, this whole BMI section thing, bullshit. I don't get it. So I'm supposed to be 110 pounds. I was
110 pounds when I was 7. So
yeah, maybe on my bar mitzvah I was 110 pounds. So long story short, Lindsay and I were trying to get the vaccine, and sure enough, we got the call, got the vaccines, and we were so delighted, so thankful, so appreciative. And obviously, we're trying to encourage everyone we know to get the vaccine. Anyway, so we started talking to a few friends and some of their friends and some other friends. Oh yeah, that's great. You got the vaccine, man. We got ours a month ago. I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, where were you? Yeah, we're vaccinated, man. We got the second vaccine. We're feeling good. And then I'm looking at this person like, you mother effer. I'm like, I've
I
asked
went to
you,
Disney World last week and I licked a pole and everything.
and you're totally fine. No, it's so funny because when you're talking to everyone, talking about how excited you are to get the vaccine, but you come to find out
It's old news.
it's old news. They got it 2 months ago. They probably got the Johnson and Johnson 2 months before it was even released. I thought it was hilarious. It was great. So so no matter how well you think you know someone, you really don't. And I thought it was amazing, and I love it. So I guess that was really funny. It was hilarious. Ryan, what are your thoughts on that, brother?
Yeah, I mean, look, I was fortunate enough to also get the first dose of the vaccine last week, which Dan and I were actually a couple of days apart, as it should be.
As it should be.
So I fell into the same category as Dan. I've lost 35 pounds and my BMI is still too much. So again, I don't really know. It actually isn't too much. I actually kind of just wore a bulky sweatshirt to try to just get through it, and they didn't ask any questions. So I gave them my arm and said,
Or you could take up smoking, or just say you're a pack-a-day smoker, and you'll be just fine.
when did you start? Yesterday.
Yesterday, but that nicotine's a hell of a drug.
And I'm all about the teachers are heroes right now in my opinion. And obviously medical workers and people that have been putting their lives on the line, like your sister, are heroes, true heroes, without question. Teachers, true heroes, 100%. People with medical conditions, 100% should be vaccinated. I'm not going to lie. I saw a couple of people at the vaccine location. I don't even know how they fit through the front door. I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't know how they, I don't know.
Andre.
Yeah, I don't know how they hadn't been vaccinated yet. But, I agree with you. I think it's kind of funny to be closeted. I know, from a couple of personal relationships and whatnot that people were a little bit wary of discussing it at a time about a month ago when, the elderly were still getting vaccinated and they didn't have people judge them.
Dude, it's like the golden ticket. People are, it's kind of like winning the lotto.
But to me, here's my sort of viewpoint on it. If people are going to like a Publix or a CVS or whoever has a vaccine, and the fact of the matter is that the vaccines, when they are unfrozen or whatever it is at the beginning of the day, there's a certain amount of time that they have to utilize them.
Correct.
If someone doesn't show up or somebody cancels,
they either find someone or they toss it out.
Exactly. So
and that's what happened with us.
Exactly. So if somebody goes to Publix and finds out at the end of the day that they have a vaccine available, fuck yeah, get the vaccine. Like, what is it? It's either in your arm or it's in the garbage. So
correct.
In your arm could save lives. And I completely agree with you. I think that everybody has to get a little away from the paranoia of people understanding that they're vaccinated, because to your point, same thing with us. We found out about so many people that are vaccinated.
I got to tell you, all my friends should honestly get Oscars because they are so good at oh yeah, man, no, I cannot wait for that sucker to come out. I am gonna be first in line. Dude, you're not gonna believe it. We got our call. Oh yeah, we got our shot 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. The Golden Globe goes to
exactly. Yeah, so I'm in total agreement with you. I really do hope that I understand everyone has different viewpoints on vaccines. Vaccines are for the devil. But
for the devil.
At the end of the day, we're trying to reach herd immunity as a country. We're trying to get out of this and get everybody back to a normal life.
Exactly.
We're trying to beat this motherfucker COVID. So get vaxxed. Do yourselves and everyone else a favor and go get vaccinated. I mean, again, this is not a political message. This is just a personal opinion.
No.
If you don't like the personal opinion, turn the podcast off.
New Year, same us, deal with it.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's a great topic. I'm glad you.
No, man, I couldn't agree more with you. I obviously, I believe they're saying Dr. Fauci saying, and all the doctors at the CDC and the World Health Organization, they're saying that 80% plus of the country needs to get vaccinated to really make a major difference. So hopefully we're on the way. Hopefully we're trending up, God willing. Funny share, man. It was just so funny. No, so what I was saying before, so after the dinner with the kids, and then you were sharing some of your stories with Katie and Alexa and all the other adorable kids out there, Lindsay and I decided we needed to get away, even if it was for half a day. So Lindsay and I decided to drive up to Bonita, which is an hour 15-minute drive. Really simple. Her aunt lives in Naples. So we wanted to, kill two birds with one stone, go to the beach and visit the family. And dude, I'm telling you, the whole West Coast is totally night and day compared to where we are in the East Coast. East Coast, I'm like the East Coast. I like the West Coast.
Bonita
Springs. And it was
have a curfew
of 9 p.m. Dude, we get out of our car, masked up, ready to rock and roll, conquer the day. I swear to God, I felt like people were staring at us like we're freaking aliens from Lakes of Babylonia. No one wore their masks. And it's all good. Listen, whether you want to wear your mask, you don't want to wear your mask. Totally. Listen, I'm going by science. I'm going by the data. So that's just our viewpoint. I feel more comfortable wearing the mask. Dude, I'm telling you, hundreds upon hundreds of people that we saw, whether at the beach or when we were walking around to have lunch, no one was wearing masks. And the people that were wearing masks weren't even wearing it. They're covering their lips. So the nose was exposed, everything. It was a diaper, a chin diaper.
A good old chin diaper.
A good old chin diaper. So it was so eye-opening to see, like, man, some people are just, they're out there and we like it and we respect it. So, but yeah, right. It's, we have a lot to be thankful for, buddy, but we are back.
Oh, we are. Yeah, I always laugh at the, I don't know if you caught the South Park COVID special where they talked about the chin diaper. And it's really funny when you wherever you are and you see somebody wearing it, it's like, in certain cases, it's like here, which is one thing.
Yep. Under the nose.
Ones that are literally like here. Like, what's the point?
Dude, I'll never
don't even wear it.
There was this older couple, and they were adorable, and God bless them for trying to wear the mask, but it was all over the place. And there was a bunch of other people wearing the mask. My body, my choice, one said, and I loved it, but not, if you're not going to wear it properly, I don't know what the point of it. Who knows? I mean, that could be a discussion for another day, but it was just so funny to see. No one was wearing masks. People that were wearing masks were not wearing the mask properly. It was like I was in like a bizarro world. It was incredible. But yeah, so that's the talk about the Golden Globe winners of our friends. So kudos to you guys. And then and then everything else going on. So right, talk to me, man. You look awesome. You look like you've even lost more weight. But how's that Peloton treating you?
Well, let's just say the old quads are burning daily.
Check out those glutes.
Amanda inspires me because you see, she does the Peloton every day.
Yeah.
So the Peloton is strategically placed right in the bedroom in like a little nook right by the bed, by the window. Yep. So I literally have to pass it every time I get out of bed. I'm like, oh, you're still there.
Giving you a dirty look.
But I'm actually enjoying it. 20 to 30 minutes on there. The kids
resistance level number 50. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. But yeah, no, it's, it's challenging. It's fun. It's different. I'm a competitive person, so I like to always.
Yeah, man, you inspired me.
Record, so yeah.
My sister-in-law Coley and her boyfriend Noah, they go on the Peloton all the time, and they always tell us how amazing you are. My buddy Brian and his wife Erica, they love the Peloton.
Sexy.
Sexy. We really were. You know what? Listen, we want the Peloton. Is it going to happen? We hope. I'd like to.
That means 6 months from now we'll still be talking about it.
No, we'll still probably be talking about it.
No, but hey, let's call a spade here. This guy, most times that I talk to him in the morning, he's either Andre. He's either out running, jogging, walking. And yogging. I say there is a difference between running and yogging. So that's why I say running and yogging. But let's. I know everyone is very anxious to hear where we're at. The new weigh-in total, how the lifestyle's going, whether you're still a fan of poultry and chicken, turkey, pardon me. What's happening? Fill us in.
Yeah. No, right. Great question. So listen, we are on week 6 of that lifestyle change.
You sure?
Yeah. It's been or week 5. It's week 5. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. It's week 5. So as of right now, I haven't weighed myself today. But I was, last time that I checked, which was 2 days ago, I'm officially down 15 pounds.
Unfucking believable.
Thank you. It's awesome, man. Mentally, I feel better. Physically, I feel like I look better, clothes fit much better. Obviously, I want to lose another 10, 15 more pounds at least. But it's just emotionally, physically, spiritually, I just feel like my chi is back, buddy. Chararanga. But no, dude, and again, a big kudos to you and to my sister-in-law Nicole and her boyfriend Noah. They are diehard workout fanatics, and they definitely motivated me. And then also my wife, Lindsay's been eating really fresh and so clean, and working out every day. And she just looks incredible. She's gorgeous. And you know what the best part is, and to all the listeners out there, that if you're gonna diet, or if you're gonna try something, like a health kick and exercise, do it with someone. I'm telling you, it makes accountability a lot. Have an accountability buddy. It makes life so much easier. But no, dude, yeah, feel great, but turkey is definitely a member of the family. That is for sure.
We had another child. His name was Boy's Head.
Boy's Head, honey maple turkey, or low
that That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Dude, you know what? It's a lot of turkey. There's a lot of turkey in my life. It's actually crazy. When I got the vaccine, they ended up taking my blood, and my blood type was boar's head. So go figure.
My blood type was Michigan.
The sugar with the side of mayo.
That's amazing, though. You should be very, very proud of yourself.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate
you've stuck with it, because look, we've both done it in the past. We've known each other a long time.
Sure.
We've both done it where we're like gung ho for 2 weeks, and you fall off the old wagon and never come back.
You know what?
Both of us.
Dude, both of us, and you're right. And you know, you are a huge motivation, for a huge factor for this, and I appreciate you for everything you do. But you know, you're right. The first 2 weeks, it takes 2 weeks to either break a habit or form a habit.
Yep.
And yeah, the first 2 weeks were rough, man. But then when you start seeing a little bit of results, and then when you start exercising, and you're like, holy crap, I'm able to go from a mile to 1.5 miles, or a mile to 2 miles. The stamina is just going up, and it's so rewarding and exciting to see. Yeah, man. The other thing is, what else? I'm literally chugging this thing called PB2. It's this peanut butter powder, right? So rather than regular peanut butter, and boy, do I love peanut butter, this PB2 is like a powder. It looks like astronaut food. I swear to God, it looks crazy. But you take this powder, it's a teaspoon or tablespoon, and each tablespoon is like 40 calories, 50 calories. You mix it in with a little drop of Zephyr Hills. You mix it up. You put it on 1/10 of a rice cake, and you are good for the day, fella.
Dan's other new passion is he's really into smoothies. So, you know, look on our website, twodadspodcast.com. Dan will definitely put up his smoothie recipe for the Dingle Schnozberry smoothie. So what that
Dingleberry smoothie.
Yeah. So what that involves is it involves a quarter of a cup of ice cubes.
Yep.
Splash of pink lemonade Crystal Light.
Correct.
1 grain of rice, brown rice.
It has to be brown. It cannot be
brown
rice.
rice.
It has to be brown rice. Yep.
Handful of spinach.
Yes.
Like raw spinach.
Yep.
A squirt of lemon juice.
Yep.
And then half a pound of boar's head turkey.
It has to be low
sodium.
Sodium boar's head.
Let's just say, I mean, that'll get you through the day. If you can hold that down, you can hold anything down. If that doesn't give you your protein fix for the day, I don't know what will. So we'll definitely be sure to post that right next to the merch section on the old website.
Yeah, definitely. And again, to your point, Rye, make sure you check out the fresh merch at our website at www.twodadspodcast.com. Yeah, man. No. So good.
Now, let me ask you too. Last time we talked, we were discussing your constipation issues. You were only shitting 3 times a day.
Yeah, man.
What's it? What are we looking at? What was the?
We're still at
tallies for the last.
We're still around 3 a day, and I got to tell you, I'm not happy about it. You know, it's it's in and out, and you know, it's just crazy. You know, someone that used to going 6 to 8 times a day to 3 times a day. It's just I'm not satisfied. You know,
used to go 3 times by 8 a.m.
Well, yeah. See, I mean, listen. Every normal human being goes at least 2 or 3 times in the morning. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Not. So, you know, I have to say that, you know, we've been utilizing and hearing a lot more about Andre. Oh, why don't you share with the listeners what happened at Verizon Wireless? I've been so excited to share this. Oh, this is a classic. I'm teeing it up for you, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate that. So I had the same. I'm an iPhone person, Apple person, love Apple. And I had the same phone for, call it like 2.5 years, something like that. Yep. And it wasn't working very well anymore. So finally decided to go change the phone. So I figured if I'm changing my phone, they have all these buy one, get one offers, whatever. So I did the logical thing. I took Leslie and Amanda and Alexa, my older daughter, with. So the 4 of us were at the Verizon store. Sitting there, all of a sudden, Amanda says, the guy that works here, his name is Andre. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's a good joke. Andre. I'm like, that's funny. No, she's like, no, actually look at his name tag. So I look over, I'm like, holy shit. So one out of a million, brother. So I'm thinking, how am I going to work this into a conversation? Like, how am I going to take over this Verizon store and Andre? So it happened kind of naturally. So this old man who had like an old flip phone, and he had a
Hold on 1 second.
Siri, call Andre.
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 So this old guy had a flip phone or Samsung something, and he comes in and he goes, "Are you gonna be sure my text messages are gonna be in the other phone?" "Yeah, sir, they'll be over there." Leaves the store. He comes back in 2 seconds later, like bowls the door open. Alexa jumped. "Where are my text messages?" And Alexa's looking at me. I'm like, "I don't know." He goes, "You told me my text. I need my text messages. Give me my text messages." Poor Andre. He goes, "Sir, is everything okay?" "No, I need my text messages right now."
Andre.
Andre goes over. He goes, "Here," clicks a couple of buttons. He goes, "There are your text messages." The guy's freaking out. Everyone in the store is laughing. Granted, there were not a lot of people. It was by appointment only, very safe. Everyone's in masks. This schmuck comes in without a mask on because he's all verklempt. So poor Andre gets an earful from this guy. This guy is just like going crazy on him. And he walks out the door and Andre's like this. And I go, "Andre." And Amanda, Leslie, and Alexa are like, "What the heck is going on?" "Andre?" And he goes, "Yes, sir. Can I help you?" I'm like, "You okay?" Like that guy, he was a handful. And I said, I have a question for you. He's like, "Of course. What can I do for you?" I'm like, "Have you seen my text messages? Has anyone seen my text?" And I started screaming in the store. The entire staff was dying because everybody heard what was happening. So I was like, "Andre, find me my text messages, please, Andre."
Andre.
He had no idea why I kept saying his name like that, but it was just, when it comes out, it's very therapeutic.
It is therapeutic.
Right?
It is. Well,
So,
and we had this discussion last time about what does Andre mean?
So a couple minutes later, guy comes out of the back room, standing right there. "Andre." And I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Andre." And Andre was on the other side of the store at this point.
It's incredible.
He's like shaking his hands, and I go, "Andre." I screamed it. And he looks up. I'm like, "Your friend wants you." So he comes back over. And then
your accountability buddy wants you, fella.
I'm like, "Your friend wants you, Andre. Andre." And I just kept saying it over. He probably thought I had a couple of issues in my head, which I do. That's what the Lexipro's for.
Oh, you got it. Lexapro.
But it was just like incredible. And as soon as I walked out the store, I literally could not even wait. Phone was on my ear. "Dan, do I have a story for you?"
And I couldn't believe what I heard. And it was
phenomenal.
fabulous.
And ever since then, I've just been like, every time I go to a drive-through, what's the name for the order? Andre.
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 You know, hey, Ryan, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Speaking of Andre, I'm thinking of Andre the Giant. Were you ever into wrestling? You know, the WWF, WWE as a kid, or even now as an adult?
Great question.
Nuts.
Have I ever shared with you about the fact that my father's father, my grandfather, was actually a professional wrestler?
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking news. Holy Moses!
You didn't know that?
I did not. So, was your grandfather in the women's league, or what was he? What was what was his specialty? What was his name? Bubba.
His name was Bubba. So funny enough, he my grandfather was in World War II. He was in the Air Force. Canadian born. He ended up moving to the States. He lived in Oakland, California, lived in New York. And he had a different name for every city that he wrestled in, depending on the fans. When he was in New York, he was Benny Stein because he wanted to appeal to the Jewish crowd. When he was in California, I don't know, maybe he was like Mr. G or Mr. T or something. No, but he changed his name based on that. His given name was Tiger Richards.
Oh, I love it.
But my father at his bar mitzvah actually had all professional wrestlers were at his bar mitzvah. My father's friends were literally in heaven. All the guys, like all the old time wrestlers were there. When I was actually a young little fella, my grandfather would take me to Maple Leaf Gardens in downtown Toronto. I got to meet Hulk Hogan and Mr. T once. I got to meet Ricky. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for me was my ultimate favorite.
Listen here, brother.
Macho man, break me out of Slim Jim. But I got to meet the Killer Bees. I got to meet a lot of people.
That's awesome.
Really cool. I got to meet Jack Tunney, who was the promoter for the longest time. So wrestling was a big thing in our family. But he used to tell me like how fake it was, right? In his day and age, they would have razor blades in their trunks and whatever, and they would nick themselves.
Sure.
But it was a lot more real. one time my grandfather in the hallway of our house actually I asked him to put me in a sleeper hold, and my dad was watching. He didn't realize.
Night night.
Yeah, he didn't realize his own strength. So I was almost passed out until my father stopped it. But yeah, he was. Yeah, so I was very, very much into wrestling, and now I'm not so much. But it's definitely
No. The reason I asked. So, and that's freaking awesome. By the way, I had no idea. I've known you for 4 years. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. So, breaking news on twodadspodcast.com. But I used to grow up loving wrestling. I used to love The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, D-Generation X. All the classic guys, Hulk Hogan, NWO. I mean, come on. So
New World Order.
So I want to tell you and to all the parents out there that if you ever get upset with your kids, start using wrestling quotes. So, and I want to give you an example. So Reagan, my gorgeous daughter, right? She's acting a fool, acting nuts. And I said to her, she's crying. Like I yelled at her. I raised my voice and says, "It's enough of this crap. You need to put your stuff away." Starts hysterically crying. So I put in my favorite wrestler and one of my favorite actors, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, a former Hurricane, by the way. And I said, "Reagan, you better throw up that U. That's right." I said to her, "Reagan, why are you crying? What's wrong?" And as she's starting to talk, "It doesn't matter why you're crying." Hysterical, dude. It went from bad to worse, and I felt so bad, but I couldn't stop laughing.
Now, the caveat to that, and the reason I'm laughing is because he actually did this while we were on the phone, and I totally forgot about it until you just brought it up, and I remember my reaction. I was crying.
It doesn't matter. No, but the reason I'm bringing it, so I had another story that happened tonight. So let me ask you, Ryan, and this is to the listeners as well. If your kids play with their toys, do they clean up after themselves? And if they do, I want to hear the secrets. Do the girls?
So Alexa is not so into playing with toys anymore just because of her age.
Sure,
Did she clean up after herself? Only when she was asked to or told to.
Sure.
Just Katie? Absolutely not. There's shit everywhere.
Yeah. So I had this, disagreement with my 4-year-old where she's in the playroom and it looked like World War III in there. And I said, abso-freaking-lutely not. So I'm putting away her stuff. I'm helping her. "I can't do it, Daddy. Help me." I'm like, "How do you?" So I'm literally helping her. In fact, who are we kidding? I cleaned up the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so mad and she has so many toys. So I'm like, I started taking some toys apart and I start putting it in the garage, acting as if I'm letting her know, "Hey, I'm throwing this crap out. This is done. This is your last warning. If you can't clean up, we're either throwing these toys out or we're going to donate them." So I told her we're throwing it out. I hid him in the garage for a day or two to make her think. And I went back to her and she's crying hysterically. And I said, "Reagan, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so."
And you probably
and then I walked into the room,
pissing your pants laughing. Oh my God.
I'm dying laughing. She's hysterical. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold. So again, I highly recommend if you ever get an argument with your children, if you start quoting some of these amazing wrestlers, it's a win-win for everyone.
Did you give her a stunner?
A stunner, yeah. The rock bottom, and so
I
yeah,
used
man.
to love Stone Cold. I actually went to when Monday Night Raw finally came to Canada and had their first live Raw. I was actually there at the good old Sky Dome. Now the
come on,
yeah,
really,
it was awesome.
Was that an amazing experience?
And Stone Cold was there. He was cracking beers and everything. So,
oh
anyway,
God,
how was my Lili Bear? I had to ask. How is Lili?
You know what? The Lili Bear she's doing great. She's just fabulous. Good. Lili's doing good. BB's doing good. Coley, Lindsay, Mimi, everyone. Thank God. My dad. Everyone's doing good. How about you? How's give us a Michael, and give us a Tobes update. How's Tobes McGoes? How's she doing, my lady love? I know the listeners want to know.
She's there. She's doing well.
She is live.
Unfortunately, she bumped her head and didn't know how she did it. But couple of funny. She asked me. She's like, "So are you still living in Florida?" I said, "Yeah." Are you going to make that a permanent situation? I'm like, "Well, I've been here for 6 years, so I don't think so." She goes, "Oh, well, you never know. Things can change." To which I said, "Okay." So there was that, and then there was she consistently asks me why I don't come to visit her because she forgets about COVID.
And then, by the way, I think you told me that you are going to plan a trip in the near future, which is cool to see. I'm happy.
Yeah, there might be some ways, just given her health situation, that I could get into. Like, I could go to Canada, but the travel restrictions and everything are crazy. So I'm trying my best to figure something out, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, she asked me every day, so did you speak to your sister? I'm like, yeah. What did you guys talk about? I'm like, nothing. Like, I said hi, asked how the boys were, and she goes, well, I haven't talked to her in about 4 or 5 days. I'm like, interesting, because she told me she just got off the phone with you. Bullshit. Okay. Or not. And Aaron's like, yeah, I just talked to her. It was good. We FaceTime for an hour. Mm-hmm. So anyways, love her to death. She's
love the Tubs.
She's hanging in there. But
I love the Tubs.
Let me just ask you before we sign off here. On the count of 3, can we just flip the old hats around? And 1, 2, 3.
And we are live.
Andre!
No, well, obviously, love to you and to your family and to Tobes. And again, to our listeners, this was a treat. We will be back next week, but make sure you check out our website, check out our YouTube clip as well. Again, for our listeners, our website is www.twodadspodcast.com. And then make sure you check out our Insta page with all the information for this week's episode 5, season 1. And we are here.
I just want to say one more thing. Dan and I wanted to throw a big shout out and a big thank you to our good friend, Jason Speakman. Jason has listened to every episode, has participated. Speak easy, mother. He's a big fan. He's a great guy. We're going to actually have him, I think, as a guest caller in the next couple of weeks. So he's going
to be a guest caller. We have a couple guest callers lined up, and we're excited for our listeners to hear that.
Absolutely.
But buddy, Ryan, as always, my brother, man, my brother from another mother. Same time, same place next week, knuckleheads, right? Want to send us out, big guy?
Later for the Monday.
Later for the Monday. Later, folks. Brought to you by